Another SCPH replay right here, right now. And this time looks like it's Civil War yet again, local versus local, and names pretty familiar to all who check these matches out and check who have been playing in the scene. And oh, Mr. PhyNix asking about the season being extended. It seems like that is the case. We're waiting for, I believe it is because of Katowice, because it is in March. Just making sure the transition is proper. But I digress. Let's talk about who's gonna be here and now in terms of our player base. On the bottom left, the Red Terran gonna be the mech maestro himself, PhyNix, versus his opponent. Here on the top right, gonna be playing that golden Zerg. A little bit of the piss, a little bit of that yellow. It's gonna be eXoXtinC. And we'll see how this is gonna go here and now for eXoXtinC. What kind of builds he's gonna be working into, especially in this patch. In the meantime, as we said before, PhyNix gonna be looking to go for that mech. Air unit's gonna be still potent as well, complementary to anything on the floor. But it seems like when in doubt, just go Thor. It's be so potent in so many ways. Be able to take down a medley of massive units. And you can always go in with those Hellion, Cyclone, Siege tanks, all about the Hot Wheels, beating on that. Good conversation though here from our two players, just making sure that they do have a little bit of the end standing onto the meta, suggesting actually the Liberator opening. It isn't the worst way to go. The Liberators can be very effective, of course, to when you get that macro on, harass the Marine line, make sure that anti-air is actually built, and then move into a more ground-based composition. It basically forces your opponent to respect your decisions, quote-unquote waste resources in something that doesn't need to be countered. But at the same time, you know, because 1-1-1 is the thing. 1-1-1 is always the setup for Terran. It has never changed. It is very important, a vital part of the tech tree in the first place. So yeah, well, PhyNix is going to be going for that reactor though. Don't need to double pump those Marines in the first place. Second command center, as well as the hatchery, gonna be in production. Speaking of the hatchery, is already built here and now. So Extinct gonna be keeping on ahead. Standard rule here for the Zerg, +1 base, always the way to go. Yeah, Liberators do take a while. They are quite expensive. You can't really go for the rush in the first place. And there are really units like that in the early game. When you build a certain unit and they have a high gas cost, that just basically means that your opponent is investing a lot of that initial resource on to that specific unit. Like, in certain openings, you make sure how many refineries, how many extractors, how many assimilators, basically how much gas your opponent has, so you can adjust accordingly. Notice what kind of units he can still build after what comes out in the first place. And especially if you get the takedown onto it, that's a really big lead for whatever side was defending. But I digress. Here we go with the metabolic boost, of course, from the spawning pool, and we are also gonna get the carapace for our overlords to get a little faster. So Extinct gonna be in a low gas state by this point. Might not be going into roaches anytime soon. It will take a little bit of a while by this point, and 30 hatcheries gonna be the way of the game. So basically, Extinct gonna be relying on those queens to provide anti-air, as PhyNix in the meantime deciding, hey, I'm gonna have a quiet game, just build on up, send in these Hellions though. This might be very effective though here for PhyNix's Extinct. Gonna be stuck basically on these Zerglings. How many queens does our boy have here on the Zerg hand side? It's gonna be 3, but they need to clump up just to make sure that they can get those transfusions on in the first place. And good micro here from PhyNix, gonna go a long way to get a cook onto a number of drones. Right now, luckily here for eXoXtinC, he doesn't have any real drones here on this third base, so if PhyNix arrives onto that third, he won't get much value, because these are worker snipers, not really onto the base destruction. We've seen before units that are strong against light taking 5 ever, 6 ever, all the time in the world to break any buildings. But anyway, here we do have the Great Wall of Supply Depots already from PhyNix. So let's set things up, make sure that part of it's not gonna be completely committing with Supply Depot, just in case he doesn't want to get Supply blocked though. But yeah, Command Center, gonna be foreign part of the wall, will get lifted up later on. Just gonna be providing a little bit of an early reprieve. In the meantime, PhyNix has actually gotten to be sneaky. Sends the minute back on, gonna be going for that high ground vision, can lift him up at any point in time. It's time to get the hell out of dodge. Overall, not bad attack here from PhyNix. Gets a little bit of a poke and gets 5 drones along the way. Not the worst way to go here for PhyNix. But he's gonna decide, hey, let's go for another swoop, another volley, and another time to go for the engagement. Gonna be idling though with the medevac here, and now does Extinct know that that is coming? Spore crawlers being set as well. This might be a small chance here for Extinct to actually buy time. PhyNix could go for the attack by this point, but him idling in this area means that the medevac cannot be in the fire, the furnace. Gonna be burning up that medevac if he gets close enough. Certainly still running around still. In the meantime, though, Roach Warren in behind yet again. Extinct finally transitioning in to those more armored units. And by this point, it's gonna be PhyNix with a classic strat for him. Battle Cruiser up in the air. Can decide to go for the tactical jump forward, can decide to go for the tactical jump in retreat. But it seems like that's going to be a one-way trip here and now for our BC. If nothing changes, tactical warp already. Trying all to go all the way where exactly? On to the third base we go, sniping potentially these queens. A Spore Crawler going to be there, Hellions have been dropped on down. It might just be the focus fire here and now. Battle Cruiser though, poking against those earlys, that extra fire rate really allowing it to hamper the runners in the first place. And Extinct now forced to bring all the queens into the front line. Battle Cruiser though quite low already, 5 kills in its name. Medevac in the meantime might not go for the load on in by this point, because if the queens decide to look on up, gonna get that takedown. And speaking of the takedown, the BC falls, the Medevac gonna die. And PhyNix actually staying a little too long there. Could have retreated, could have used those Hellions as a worthwhile sacrifice, or at least get out of the dodge with the afterburners. But in the end, he doesn't salvage anything, and Extinct actually winning out in that instance. The BC is a big investment, 400, 300, no laughing matter. And PhyNix gonna do another one. He's gonna go for another Battle Cruiser. This time might be a little more safe into this. 3 bases set on up already here by our Terran, but at the same time, Extinct going for a 4th. And you can really see Extinct is gravitating to aggression. He's building on the low ground, going to go for that rich Vespine, making sure that more eggs do go in terms of army instead of drones. And at the same time, creep spread going to be moving forward, inching closer and closer to the opposition. So if you guys are just tuning in the chat, we're just going for some replay casting right here, right now, in the SCPH scene. And if you guys do want to send something in, just use the command in the Twitch chat, or just go over at send it over rather at gamesarepool@gmail.com. Beyond that though, I thank you guys for checking things out, and of course these games individually go on to the YouTubes, as PhyNix is going to be sending in another squad of Hellions. In the meantime, Maglock Accelerator, I believe basically this allows the cast to work even better. The ability from the lock-on looking so good, especially against armored units, basically doing double damage when you cast the spell. And the Yamato gun and we looking to just blow anything up in the sky. Anyway though, Night Swarm gonna get detected here and now. And eXoXtinC gonna be looking to set up a staging point closer and closer to his opponents. In the meantime, Hellion's going for the burn on, and it already is gonna be Blue Flame actually. But unfortunately, these cars are just gonna go down. Light McQueen, not gonna be proud of that. Yeah, Magfield Accelerator there. Gonna be close to completion here for our boy PhyNix. In the meantime, eXoXtinC. Swarm Host is the name of the game. And here in Eternal Empire, there are 2 distinct exploits that you can actually do with the Swarm Host. Is basically this part and this part. I mean, this part is not as well, but if you can actually stage here, you can go to that high ground. But this is just so safely done by any kind of Zerg player. The natural is always going to be under the rest. Good reaction though here from PhyNix. In the meantime, Roach Ravager going to be in the cards here and now for eXoXtinC, and he's investing a lot of these minerals and gas on this composition. In the meantime, PhyNix hasn't been able to really be the savior of these Hellions, but he has had such good response time, he might be able to get a medal for being the first responder. Interesting enough, Swarm Host now actually going to be used as bait. The Roach Ravager going to go on in, and here comes the Locust, going to be flying on, sees the command center. Look how quick this building going to go down. And the Swarm Host is such a scary unit, honestly. Like, it is defenseless. These things die pretty quickly, but at the same time, disposable units, able to toss them for free, and they just have such strong DPS in the first place. Anyway, no opportunity here for PhyNix, because eXoXtinC is just waiting with these swarm hosts, and pop goes the weasel, pop goes the balloon, and it's time for PhyNix to get closer and closer. He knows his prey is just trying to run on away. eXoXtinC making a mistake there, but it might be a bait and switch perhaps, because here come the roaches looking for the punish. Still, no one really want to be trading those units in the first place. You don't want to be sacrificed. They have siege tanks instead. Gonna go for the blow as well. And Locust gonna drop on down, perhaps onto these siege tanks. They know the target. The Cyclone surrounded! And that's a free kill there, thanks to the Locust yet again. Thank you, Mr. Locust. The siege tank gonna go on down. The acid from those critters is so potent. And overall, it seems like eXoXtinC gonna be able to go for the bait and switch not once but twice. Still though, very dangerous waters. Sacrificing basically the safety of those farm hosts for just having a little bit of value. But if eXoXtinC is just able to keep on keeping on with these worthwhile trades, then, well, we're gonna see the Zerg come out ahead later on into the matchup. So right now, eXoXtinC is heavily ahead in terms of that army count. PhyNix, in the meantime, has been heavily producing, and he is more onto the macro focus. 105 army, 275 with swarm host means that there's a lot of units coming our way. But PhyNix in the meantime, 77 workers, but here we go with a pincer attack already. Roach Ravager onto the left, Locust onto the right. It's a heavy surround, and PhyNix gonna lose everything on the ground. That is so painful for our Red Terran. And this might be eXoXtinC looking for the coup de grace, the final blow. Sure, eXoXtinC is only on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 base so far. PhyNix gonna be on to 4, a lot more saturated though, after basically all the pulls, thanks to the efforts of the swarm host. But right now, this is gonna be an evacuation zone yet again. eXoXtinC keeping on with the pressure, making sure that PhyNix is always on his toes. And by this point in time, it is going to be decision time here for eXoXtinC. He is heavily supply blocked at something because of all the overlords getting picked off by the BCs in the first place. In the meantime, here we go with the mules yet again, and you can see where PhyNix is trying to take the lead. But oh no, the Locust gonna spot out these disposable units as well, and that is energy going to waste. eXoXtinC coming back in terms of the economy, losing mules like that is no laughing matter. And the Nidus Worm Frenzy keeps on up. It is gonna be more and more pressure by this point. Ravager's gonna be there as well with the roaches. In the meantime, eXoXtinC just not letting up whatsoever. Corruptor's now gonna go into the air. Good tech here and now. And allow him to go for the fight against those BCs. Make sure that they will always be on their toes. And basically, the skies are now gonna be limited here for our Terran player. Local's gonna be coming online yet again. In the meantime, here we go with the Cyclones trying to get the lock on, which is a little too late by this point. The Locals landing on down to the command center. Will it be enough DPS? There we go with the surround. Repair is online here from the SCVs. But still, eXoXtinC is looking so solid so far. And here comes the first few Corruptors, but Cyclones are gonna get the lock on. We've seen this before. Cyclones just destroying Corruptors up in the air. But at the same time, the Roaches and Ravagers trying to go for the fight. BCs again providing fire support. Here we go with the Corruption yet again in behind. Acid Spores being tossed at the hulls of those BCs. Lock on is there as well. The Maglock Accelerator showing its value. But overall, this is gonna be PhyNix still defending. By this point in time, both sides having strengths, having weaknesses, and I feel like one fight will really turn the tide onto the other's favor. eXoXtinC again still in the lead, having this big army thanks to the swarm host, allowing him to keep applying pressure. In the meantime, PhyNix just trying as much as he can to keep up and go ahead in that macro. He does have a significant worker count lead in the first place, and he's on 5 base right now, but might be scratching that, going for only a 4 base scenario. Refinery does go down. The uplift is there to make sure the command center stays alive. The SCVs just gonna collapse on over before they can reach home. Anyway, we keep on with the attack. eXoXtinC not letting up, not surrendering whatsoever. He's already looking to just creep on up, make sure his bases are secure for any kind of attacks and arrangements. In the meantime though, here we go with BCs yet again, gonna be 6 of them now flying on into the skies, but Corruptors in behind. It's a pretty good number of them, and they are quite tanky against these BCs in first place. The amount of counting though, gonna go for 1 hit potential, we'll get the takedowns overall. And right now the Corruptor is giving chase yet again, cost-effective units in its own right. Another BC does go down, but here comes the reinforcements. It's looking a little difficult here for eXoXtinC to stay on with this fight. Now he's supporting the Locust actually, trying to get closer and closer. In the meantime though, lots of this setup yet again. Ravager is going to be looking for the drop on down. Planetary Fortress being repaired along the way. And by this point, this is eXoXtinC trying to go for the news play already, trying to go for the chokehold against PhyNix. In the meantime, PhyNix still in this fight. Doesn't have too much minerals in the bank though. Ravens might be able to work out in this scenario. Anti-armor, pretty effective of course. Anyway though, another Night Swarm here for eXoXtinC. This guy just does not want to let up whatsoever. Swarm host Night Swarm. It has been neutered, sure, in the latest patches. It's not as cheap as it was before, but damn, if it works, it still works really well. And here on Eternal Empire, we saw it firsthand, all the way from here to here, Natural being hampered. And even with the macro advantage right now here for PhyNix, you can really see that he's always forced to spend, always forced to use his resources, not even just to build things, but to go for the repair. Anyway, I digress. Seems like PhyNix might have had enough. Gonna be moving on out to go for a potential pick or two. But eXoXtinC is already on it. 100 plus army by this point. But Roaches and Ravagers given freely. Basically a scenario here for eXoXtinC to clean up some supply. And as the Terran gets closer and closer, Yamato-Khan is gonna be singing away yet again. Corruptors though, go for the Ashes Force in behind. One BC might go down. Tactical Warp to get on the way, but a misclick here from PhyNix. And this might be Bile here and now from eXoXtinC landing on down, smacking into the battle cruiser. Corruptor is going to be coming closer and closer as well. In the meantime, another reinforcement BC is back into the field. And it's time to see the Cyclones melt everything alongside those cruisers. Do or die time here and now for both. PhyNix gonna be looking to just cripple his opponents. In the meantime, it is gonna be Extinct looking to make sure this army is not gonna go anywhere. And by this point in time, Overlord's gonna be tanking up the damage yet again. Will it be enough in this scenario? Tactical Warp to get on away. And overall, it seems like PhyNix can be forced to disengage to the relenting fury of his opposition. Anyway though, I digress. There you go, all about the BCs again. Flying up in the air, making sure damage being done, yada yada yada. BC is such a strong unit, especially against the Zerg race. In the meantime though, here we do see some cans yet again, making sure that everything is up to par. Swarm host right now back into the field, dropping those locusts down. And in this instance, Roach's Ravagers coming on back yet again, gets this round onto the Cyclone. Battle Cruisers though warp into the fray, and might be a little bit of punishment coming the way of PhyNix in this scenario, because Extinct is building more and more of these Corruptors. Here they come yet again. And by this point in time, it seems like this is truly the calm before the storm. Extinct is unable to fully commit basically with everything he has due to the fact those battle cruisers up in the air have been doing so much damage to everything and anything on the ground. In the meantime, just want to go for the attack right here right now with the Swarm Post. You can always do so. Roach is going to be there as well. And it seems like it's going to be a little bit of cost cutting here and now for our Zerg player. Extinct though backing on out. Locusts have been already released. And the floodgates just gonna be burnt on down basically by all this acid yet again. Damage being done. SCVs repairing as much as they could. But overall, you can truly see the problem. It's resources going in the way of that. And here comes the BCs yet again, going for the fights. Sees the Roaches and Ravagers deciding, hey, we can actually walk into this one. And we'll be met by the Yamato yet again. More forward expansions, more ways to go about things. It seems like both sides just trying to wrest control from each other with more stable outposts in the first place. Anyway though, there you go, BC again. Mop Up is on duty. And the Night Swarm gonna be looking for the drop. Locust gonna be released yet again, and the Swarm is coming to drop down onto this place. Planetary Fortress under the rest, taking damage yet again. Here we go with the repair factor from the SCVs, but PhyNix is just running out of materials to actually put duct tape on. And Corruptors up in the air. Perfect matchup by this point. Tactical Warp to get on away. Acid Spores connecting, leaving the two BCs behind. And can PhyNix still do anything by this point? It seems like eXoXtinC has been able to bridge the gap by killing enough workers in the first place. And anyway, eXoXtinC rolling yet again. Cyclones right now, locking on, taking care of those corruptors. But a nice swarm now on to this base yet again. It seems like the Zerg is gonna be kept alive in this scenario, but no. Ooh. Cyclones, man. Cyclones are just such scary units in the first place. They can lock on, they can do damage, and they really pack a punch in the first place. PCs again into that third base. PhyNix right now, just trying to be as pesky as possible. eXoXtinC actually gonna call it GG. And it seems like everything was lost there.